Blackwood Manor stood brooding on a lofty hill overlooking the town of Ashfield. The manor, steeped in Victorian charm, also harbored whispers of a dark past. Its thick stone walls seemed to hold secrets close, echoing with the laughter and sorrow of those long gone. Generations of Blackwood heirs had lived and died within these walls, leaving behind a legacy that went beyond the grand facade. Layla arrived at the manor in the late afternoon, the setting sun casting long shadows across the manicured lawn. The imposing iron gates creaked open as if to welcome her into a realm where time stood still. Blackwood Manor wasn't just a house. It was a living entity that had breathed the air of the 19th century. Its high ceilings and polished wood gleamed under chandeliers that once cast warm light on lavish parties. But now, they only accentuated the dust motes dancing in the silence. The air was thick with unspoken stories, the murmurings of the past. But why had Layla come here? What had brought her to the doorstep of Blackwood Manor? Her reason was both simple and profound. She was here for the ghosts. Rumors had swirled around Blackwood Manor for years. Whispers of a family curse, of tragic deaths and restless spirits. And then, there were the strange occurrences, objects moving on their own, disembodied footsteps in the dead of night, and the occasional fleeting glimpse of a sorrowful figure disappearing around a corner. These stories had drawn Layla like a moth to a flickering flame. She wasn't just a paranormal investigator. She was on a personal quest, a search for answers that went beyond the physical world. The story of the Blackwood family was as intriguing as it was heartbreaking. The family was dying, not just in their wealth, but in their very essence, becoming a mere echo of their former selves. And it seemed that even death couldn't offer them solace. Layla had pored over old documents and historical records, piecing together the narrative of the Blackwood family. Now, standing in the heart of their ancestral home, she could feel the weight of their story pressing down on her. The manor's grandeur was juxtaposed by an unsettling chill that seemed to emanate from the very core of the building. The air grew heavy as if burdened by the secrets it held. It was more than just a cold draft. It was the palpable presence of the past seeping into the present. Then it happened. A sudden commotion broke the silence. Layla spun around, her heart pounding. It was a sound that shouldn't exist. A harsh, discordant scream, piercing the quiet of the evening. It wasn't a sound of rage or pain. It was more like a desperate plea, a cry for help from beyond the grave. Where did it come from? Who was it? Her gaze swept across the room, taking in every creak and shadow. But there was nothing out of the ordinary. The source of the scream remained a mystery, adding another layer of intrigue to her already complex investigation. Determined to uncover the truth, Layla decided to delve deeper into the manor's history. She spent hours poring over dusty journals and brittle letters in the local historical society, searching for any mention of the scream or any clue to the manor's haunting past. She was looking for a connection, anything that would tie the scream to a specific event or person. As days turned into weeks, Layla's investigation led her to a name that kept appearing in various documents. Lady Eleanor Blackwood. Born in 1828, Eleanor was the only daughter of the Blackwood family. Her life had been confined to the walls of Blackwood Manor, a prisoner of her own gilded cage. But Eleanor's story wasn't just one of wealth and confinement. It was a tale of unfulfilled dreams and a love that dared not speak its name. Eleanor's portrait hung in the main drawing room, a constant reminder of her tragic fate. Her eyes, filled with a melancholic beauty, seemed to stare directly at Layla, as if silently pleading for understanding. But it was the diary that truly unveiled Eleanor's soul. As Layla read through the faded ink, she felt a profound connection to this woman she had never met. Eleanor's words painted a vivid picture of her existence, her hopes, her fears, and her forbidden love for a young artist named Thomas Ashton. Their love had blossomed amidst the gloom of Blackwood Manor, a beacon of light in Eleanor's otherwise bleak existence, but their happiness was short-lived. When Thomas learned of Eleanor's impending marriage to a wealthy nobleman, he fled, heartbroken. Consumed by grief, Eleanor took her own life, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow and a haunting secret. The diaries also spoke of a terrifying scream, a sound that echoed through the manor every full moon, the night of Eleanor's death. This must be the scream Layla had heard, a cry that had remained trapped within the walls of Blackwood Manor for centuries. With this new revelation, Layla's determination only grew stronger. She was no longer just investigating a ghost story. She was on a mission to give Eleanor Blackwood a voice, to let her story be heard. One evening, as Layla sat in the drawing room, the full moon casting an eerie glow through the window, she heard it again, the mournful scream. It seemed to come from the walls themselves, a manifestation of Eleanor's tormented soul. Determined to find the source, Layla began a meticulous search of the manor. She examined every nook and cranny, hoping to find a clue, a hidden passage, anything that could lead her to the origin of the scream. And then she saw it, a small opening concealed behind a tapestry, a secret passage leading to a long-forgotten part of the manor. The discovery sent a thrill through her. Could this be the key to unraveling the mystery of the scream? With a flashlight in hand, Layla cautiously entered the passage. It was narrow and pitch black, the air thick with the scent of decay. But her determination pushed her forward. At the end of the passage, she found a door. It was old and sturdy, its surface covered in grime and cobwebs. Taking a deep breath, Layla pushed the door open. Before her lay a hidden room, its walls adorned with faded wallpaper. But it was the object in the center of the room that truly captivated her attention. It was an easel with a half-finished painting, and as Layla approached, she recognized the subject, Thomas Ashton. In the painting, his eyes held a depth of emotion that mirrored the turmoil in Eleanor's diary. Suddenly it all made sense. The scream, the hidden room, the unfinished painting, they were all pieces of a tragic puzzle that had been waiting for Layla to solve. Here in this secret room, Eleanor had poured her heart and soul into her art, finding solace in the strokes of her brush. But when Thomas left, her spirit had become trapped, unable to find peace. Layla felt a profound sadness envelop her. She understood Eleanor's torment, her struggle to break free from the confines of her existence. Determined to help Eleanor find peace, Layla decided to finish the painting. She looked at the canvas, at Thomas's haunting eyes, and began to paint. Each stroke was a whisper of empathy, each color a fragment of Eleanor's soul. As the painting neared completion, Layla could feel the energy in the room shift. It was as if Eleanor's spirit was reaching out, guiding Layla's hand. When the final brushstroke was complete, Layla stepped back to admire the finished piece. In that moment, she knew she had done something extraordinary. It wasn't just a painting. It was a conduit between worlds, a way to connect with Eleanor and help her move on. But how? Layla placed the painting on the easel, directly facing the moon streaming through the window. Then she stepped back and closed her eyes, focusing on Eleanor's spirit. She could feel the presence in the room growing stronger, the energy vibrating around her. Taking a deep breath, Layla called out, "Eleanor, can you hear me?" Her voice echoed in the silent room. And then, as if in response, the painting seemed to glow. When Layla opened her eyes, she gasped. The image of Thomas in the painting had transformed. He was no longer a distant figure, but stood before her, his form shimmering with otherworldly light. "Eleanor," Layla whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "Is that you?" The figure nodded, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," he said, his voice a gentle breeze. "You have given me back my love, my lost love." And with that, the figure faded, merging back into the painting. The energy in the room shifted, becoming lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. Layla felt a profound sense of peace envelop her. She knew that Eleanor and Thomas were finally reunited, their spirits soaring free from the confines of Blackwood Manor. As the first rays of dawn peeked through the windows, Layla left the manor, carrying with her the memory of a love that had defied time and the solace of a mystery solved. The scream was silenced, but its echo remained, a reminder of the powerful emotions that can bind us even in the afterlife.